Okay, hello again. This is the Duggars. If you don't know who they are, they had a reality show about their fundamentalist, quiverful ideology. And the reason why I'm using them as the aesthetic is because I want to address a lot of Caucasian women's issues that I've been reading about and how death will be prevalent, but not from back alley coat hanger sort of things. Ectopics, no exceptions for a lot of that. Stillborns, miscarriages in certain states will be, they're putting on their ballot that you'll be charged with homicide. And I find it very interesting because what these fundies want is they want the Duggar aesthetic. They want the woman who can breed and breed well. And I am a descendant of women. I'm a black woman, so descendant of generations of women who were forced bred against their will. So I think I have some good points to make here. And the interesting thing is they want the Duggar aesthetics. They want the white fundamentalist Christian where the girls, the women and the girls rely on the men and do not question the men and are held accountable for the men's happiness, including in the bedroom. And what's interesting is that when you think of the Duggars, a lot of people seem to forget that, their show was blank and counting, 15 and counting, 20 and counting, whatever. So the show was called 19 and counting by the time it ended. And it's interesting because Mama Duggar was pregnant with a 20th child. And a lot of people seem to forget that. And it matters because if these laws were in place at the time that she had gotten pregnant, she either would have died or been charged with homicide. Because what people don't know is with her 20th child, and this is when she stopped having children, by the way. Obviously, God, that was their cue from God. When she was pregnant with her 20th child, about 17 or 16 or 17 weeks, they did not detect a heartbeat. So the baby was basically fetal demise. And 3 days later, the baby had to be born stillborn. That is technically a miscarriage. That technically will send women to jail for homicide in Louisiana. So I find it very interesting that they view this fundamentalist ideology, not realizing that even fundy and evangelical women will have complicated pregnancies. Are they willing to take those women and throw them into jail under felony charges? And then leave all the other children to the man to take care of. But so it's very interesting that people don't think these things through. And so for the women who are sitting there saying, if I get pregnant, I will die, they want you dead. You have to accept that. It's time for Caucasian women who have reproductive issues to start accepting certain realities. They don't want you to live. They want a Michelle Duggar. They want the daughters of Michelle Duggar. That's who they want as part of their white Christian aesthetic, evangelical aesthetic. Now, as far as the Coney Barrett thing, and this is very interesting, this is the reason why I have the Duggars here, I have to question, is it just a religious ideology, or is that woman and her church so incredibly corrupt that they actually have money in the adoption industry? I'm going to say a conspiracy theory that they get money from the adoption industry. Because when she writes that women need to give birth to these babies and hand them over to other couples, that's a problem. That just shouts to me as a black woman who pays attention to reproductive health, who pays attention to economics. That reeks of her, either as an individual or her church, being heavily financially invested in adoption agencies. And when you have a couple like this, see, this couple got lucky because they got a TV show, therefore they became millionaires, right? That's easy. But what if the couple doesn't? And they just start plucking children, saying, nope, we're going to take your kid, we're going to take your kid, we're going to take your kid. You're not going to fight it because you're not going to risk your whole family for one baby. You'll let that baby go. And they're making laws to ensure that you do. So it's a double-pronged issue here. You have fundamentalist evangelical women who have complicated pregnancies and were able to live through them or may die. Some of them may actually go to jail in certain states. So what y'all gonna do, white women? This is, the rabbit hole is so much deeper. And I gotta tell you, with Thomas already being corrupt, him and his wife, I have no doubt in my mind that Amy Coney Barrett is equally corrupt. I don't think this is just Christian fundamentalists. The fact that she told women, give these babies up, she didn't even say, we care about the babies and we want you to keep your babies. We want more white women keeping their babies. No, you're supposed to give birth to them and hand them over to somebody else. This just reeks of financial corruption. And mark my words, when it all comes